NRG, on the other hand, had a bit of a scare for version 1, but they've played well throughout the tournament up until running into the peeps. So I think our people have a lot more faith, especially taking down Space Station their previous round.
Well, certainly this one is probably going to be exactly what everybody expects. EnVy and NRG, I believe this is the 14th or 15th time that they've matched up in Season X. These guys know each other better than any other team in North America. They've just played each other way too often. I mean, like 14 times is ridiculous, but they've given us some insane matches, and Mist almost giving us a crazy shot right underneath. Oh no, they almost couldn't find that. And Justin gets punished, couldn't find the ball, and Mist popped back out to him for a goal.
So I think Justin actually was trying to land, he did land on the wall, and I'm not sure, he went too slow, I suppose, to get to that ball and had to improvise and in a panic, toss the ball down, set up EnVy for the shot. Very uncharacteristic type of defense from Justin there early on. A minor mistake leads to a major goal as EnVy go up 1-0.
That's not what you want Justin to be doing. Oh no, NRG. Well, sleeping at the wheel to start game number 1. Atomic, oh my goodness, okay. Everyone's just letting the ball fly towards the net. Fair play.
You know, I was about to make a point about how, you know, teams like this, they bring it to a new level when you get into this part of the tournament. But right now, new level. It certainly is a new level. Up or down is up for you to decide. Here's Squishy flip reset, open net to shoot on. And oh my goodness, didn't get the power. He does put it away in the end. It was wide open. I didn't even gas it up because it was so free. He does get it in the end. Great demo by Justin. Squishy fails the touch. Still able to tie it up for NRG.
Could you make an argument that he just let it go as soon as he saw the demo happen? Like, Squishy's been on highlight reel after highlight reel. He's allowed to let it drop. Hey,
that one might even make the highlight reel. Yeah.
Not for the reason he wants, but... Oh, NRG take the goal anyway, and it's not been a pretty opening minute and a half. Turbo, light shot will be turned away by Justin. As funny as it has been, we do still expect both of these teams to right the ship pretty early, and it does seem to be speeding up as we progress down the field. Atomic and Turbo, though, double committing. Atomic gets the demo, but not the goal. And EnVy gonna try again here from midfield, or maybe the third. Mist gets the challenge to Atomic, who makes it scream to the top of the net.
Yeah, look at the positioning from Atomic. Way on the far side, collects the midfield boost. This ball comes completely perpendicular from the play and straight at Atomic, and that's the benefit of having that type of positioning, which, by the way, EnVy do a lot. I don't think that pass was necessarily as planned as many of the other ones that you might see from EnVy, but they do like to switch the field with those lateral passes all the way across to the other sideline. They always seem to have a player there. That's exactly what Atomic was positioning for.
Oh, Justin will let that one go, and Atomic actually going to get a pass to Turbo Pulsa. NRG really struggling to make contact with the ball on their own half of the field, and it's not something that I expected to say at all during their matches today. Wow. And Mist gets a wide angle shot on net. EnVy take a 2-goal lead.
Yeah, check out this angle from Mist. The challenge from Atomic's just good enough to at least keep that ball dangerous, but the angle to not only put it on target, but to put it right in between the defenders with Garrett coming on the back post. Great work from Mist, and a 2-goal lead now for EnVy.
Certainly not how you would expect them to get it, though. Mist might have another goal, and Garrett able to roll back to pick up the next save. Quick transition for NRG, but Turbo's ready for it. And NRG certainly going to have to work much harder to find a way to crack through EnVy, who have really yet to be challenged on defense. You had that one ball that came off, kind of limped off the crossbar that Atomic saves. Other than that, though, EnVy haven't really felt pressure.
And really the one goal that NRG have is just from the demolition on the last man, and there they go again. Garrett tried to get a piece of Mist. Mist backed up all the way into his net. A big clear comes out as NRG's offense completely fizzles out just as fast as it gets up to the final third.
Turbo, easy to just wait there on the side wall. But NRG can't get anything going. Just Garrett coming up, maybe get something off of Squishy's challenge, but then Squishy actually has a shot from midfield. NRG haven't had a lot of space in the blue half, so if you do get a little space in midfield, you know, why not rip a shot to force EnVy back on the rotation a little bit? Instead, NRG have to dive back for a couple of saves. Justin picks up the latest one. Atomic gonna pick off the pass from Squishy. Off the crossbar, missed, punishes, and EnVy are walking all over NRG.
That's great work from EnVy to keep this ball dangerous. Has a poor touch from Squishy that allows Atomic to put a shot on target. Comes off the crossbar, gets everyone to jump after it, and no one from NRG are able to get a touch. That's 13 shots now for EnVy as they have just been peppering the NRG defense.
Hasn't even been close yet. Turbo, even on his way out of the stadium, almost got a pass out to Mist. I mean, you just have to chalk this up to a bad game from NRG. It started bad, it continued bad, and it's probably going to end badly the way it's been going. And game 2, you're kind of looking ahead at that point if you're an NRG fan, Corelli, because EnVy might get a 5th goal. Justin picks up another save. EnVy, it's a walk right now for them. They haven't struggled nigh at all past the first minute.
Yeah, I mean, you can even just look at the stat line. Everything going well for EnVy in a game where I don't even think EnVy actually played all that great, especially early on, but they certainly corrected the early attempts on their offense and on defense, and it has looked much better for EnVy compared to what maybe NRG has tried to correct through this game. They have been slow, inconsistent, things that you wouldn't normally use to describe a team like NRG, but have certainly been the case here.
A little worried for NRG too. You know, going into game 2, they typically play better when they are ahead, and they do pick up a goal here from Squishy. It's a nice shot, but you're kind of looking at them in game 2 and thinking if they don't get a strong start right out the gate, you start worrying about the rest of the match, because EnVy are so consistent, Corelli, at being able to punish slow starts. If you start slow against EnVy, you rarely catch up.
You know, Jorby, we talk about in a lot of games, especially early on in the season, setting the tone for the pace of play, for how your team's going to come out. And, you know, I think NRG definitely benefit off of the initial seconds of a match setting that tone. And you can look back to this game and say, well, the tone wasn't set very well because the initial misses from Justin early on certainly set the poor tone for NRG, and that seemed to just snowball throughout this game 1. EnVy, though, were able to pick it back up. Look at the stat line, missed with the hat trick. Wow. It's a strong opening for EnVy here.
Yeah, 8 shots for Mist, too. Look, I think we said everything we needed to say about that game. It was definitely a head-scratcher for me for NRG. It started pretty bad with Justin trying to get the clear, and he couldn't really handle the ball off the backboard, something we see Justin do with ease 99% of the time. Double commits in front of the net, just misses, just straight up missing the ball on defense, and they aren't facing a ton of pressure from EnVy. You were talking about it, Corelli. EnVy weren't doing anything special in this game. In fact, they didn't look the best themselves in those opening 2 minutes. So I don't know what game 2 is going to bring us, but for NRG, they certainly need a complete 180 here.
Yeah, hopefully some changes for NRG. I mean, look, it's not even like, oh, you need to do this to counter EnVy. It's, no, you need to just play your game. Get into the groove first, because right now, that NRG gameplay, no matter who they're playing against, is certainly not up to par.
Well, NRG, as we head to Forbidden Temple, going to do their best to not start the way game 1 did, which was disastrous. Maybe they can set the pace themselves. Justin gonna carry it out to the side over Mist, and Squishy played that one closely, but Atomic comes back, and NRG might have something here on the initial set. They're gonna have to get by Mist and company. Squishy finds Garrett, has a shot, and Atomic picks up the save, but that's the NRG we expected out the gates in game number 1. Here's another pass, and Squishy can't find the mark. No contact, EnVy get away.
Yeah, a couple good looks, though, for NRG, and that's important for them here in the first 30 seconds. Another big thing for them is, of course, you know, being more consistent, something that we didn't see in the first game, but also getting down the field a lot more. I know that's a simple point to make, but they really didn't spend a lot of time in the final third. It felt like EnVy, even with the mistakes that were coming through the midfield, were still very comfortable breaking out from their defensive third.
Yeah, you say easy to say for a mistake to fix, but it always comes down to the simple things in Rocket League. If you're not making solid contact, you end up losing the challenge. The ball ends up in your net. That's just the reality. Your mechanics have to be solid. They have to be consistent. Otherwise, these teams will punish you. Mist setting that one across, but it's taken away by Garrett. NRG looking much cleaner in this first minute.
Yeah, a much higher quality match here in the first minute here for both teams. As Turbo Pulsa wants to throw this one downfield, Justin there to pick it up. I think NRG meeting those clears a bit earlier is also a huge help for them on defense. They're getting tied up, wanting to control that ball a lot of times, but they can't get the control. They don't have the boost to do so. Here's enough opportunity for Squishy, and Atomic puts it into his own net, coming down off the ceiling. A tough read, and NRG up by 1.
That's what they needed. They needed a play like this. That's a great challenge. Atomic thought he'd have a little bit more time to get turned around in net and get ready. He had no boost coming back. 7 is basically 0 in Rocket League, and he ended up own goal. That's what 7 boost gets you when you're turning around in net like that, Corelli. And for NRG, it means the world, because that's exactly how Game 1 started, opposite for them. And Justin picks up a second goal for NRG, completely flipping the script here in Game 2.
Yeah, TurboPulse wanted the long clear, and I think Atomic was thinking Mist was going to get there. And so he pushes up as the third man. Well, a big play by the defensive NRG shuts down that long clear. And that open net is quite easy for Justin to tap it in. And for NRG, a much better game here in Game 2. Cutting off the passes from EnVy, and multiple opportunities here so far.
A lot more confidence in that rotation as well. You're not seeing two players kind of start and then stop when they're not sure who's going to go for what. Everyone's feeling a lot more comfortable. Garrett forcing the next challenge for Squishy. But EnVy able to throw the ball out downfield. It's all about how they respond now. They're facing a lot of pressure in the blue half. Atomic makes a couple of nice challenges. Turbo slowing it down. Flips it over Garrett. Atomic follows through over Squishy. Where's the shot from Mist? He was too far back, and it's taken away by Justin.
Yeah, tough for Mist to move up too far there. It was congested in that corner. Didn't want to overcommit. He actually went when maybe he didn't even need to. Still EnVy trying to keep this pressure on. They might be able to. Atomic, full boost to work with. Gets a second touch, looking for Mist down below, and cut out by Garrett.
EnVy, a couple of nice challenges again. Squishy's forced to stay on the back wall. Justin takes out the lead man, Mist. Atomic forces another 50, and Turbo has to turn around. NRG, a couple of excellent challenges. Mist gets the catch on the backboard to stop the transition, but EnVy having trouble getting the offense going. Here's Atomic. He able to get one touch and can't make contact with TurboPulse. So close, but nothing for EnVy on that push.
And it's one of the beautiful things about EnVy. They just set each other up so well, and they always seem to be on the same page. Look at Mist pre-jumping this touch. Oh, he's going to get it off the crossbar. Can Kerma put it away? Again, almost finding each other in midair. That time they connected, just not able to put it on target. They're just so creative, Jorby, and able to find each other so easily, it feels like.
Atomic had that space earlier, too. If he finds a couple more like that where he can get a flip reset set up, he might find Mist next time, and Mist might find the net rather than the crossbar. Atomic wants TurboPulse, but he's the whole way back there. A very dangerous touch for Atomic. NRG are able to just box that play out into the corner. Justin takes over here in midfield. That's a lot of wasted time on the clock for NRG. Another win for Garrett, and Squishy's got free net and a 3-goal lead.
A lot of free touches here for NRG. Justin doesn't get the second touch, but Garrett pops up and over the back wall, and Mist didn't have a lot of boost. It was a quick turnaround and then challenge from Mist, and he was just a bit too slow. Didn't have a lot of boost to work with either. Squishy, of course, going to be so quick to put that one away. A 3-0 lead opens up for NRG, Jorby, and this is the pace of play, the control that you would expect from an NRG squad.
Oh, they get him. Garrett got caught out. Squishy went by him, and Mist picks up a goal. A minute left for EnVy, but that's a nice little kick from Mist in recognition of the rotation. Squishy definitely helped him out.
Mist was wave dashing to the left and hit it in to Squishy, and that pinched it by Garrett hard enough so that he couldn't get back. So unfortunate there for NRG. But with a minute left, they're looking to hang on here with their 2-goal lead.
You take the goals as you can get them. Atomic, next one up here for Mist. Pops it up. Garrett, awkward angle, and Justin helps him out and gets the clear out for NRG. Well, if EnVy had a chance there on that kickoff, you start maybe sweating a little bit in your chair, but it's a lot more time wasted off the clock for NRG, almost down to the 30-second mark. And Justin, much better game from him specifically in game number 2. And Squishy couldn't quite find the touch, but Garrett backs him up. This time the fallback plan's coming through. Atomic missing his touch, and no shot for EnVy.
I like seeing Squishy contribute here in this game. It feels like sometimes he takes the back seat on NRG, and he might kind of fall into the shadows, but he was certainly a massive proponent here for NRG to win this game, and that's important. When Squishy's doing well on NRG, it does feel like the rest of the team does well.
Yeah, that's certainly something that, Squishy's talked about it in his own channels and stuff You know, he's not always the center star of NRG, but he doesn't need to be when you have somebody like Justin and Garrett, for that matter, on your team. Squishy, while he can be the star sometimes, doesn't have to be. This time he was, and definitely was the center for NRG to win against Team EnVy. And game one is, well, it was a dream, Corelli. And, you know, maybe NRG can completely forget about it after that performance. We got a completely new series on our hands.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is the series that we all signed up to watch here, and I'm looking forward to the rest of it. But of course, you know, now we got to look back on the other side. We complimented what EnVy could do in the first game. Now we look back here in game two and say, you know, look, I don't think EnVy had a poor game here per se, but it was more the mistakes that they made, again, were capitalized on NRG. That's something that NRG's always had about this team. No matter the roster, they always seem to capitalize on just the small mistakes or find the small gaps that teams give up. And that was the difference maker here, because it wasn't the worst game in the world from EnVy. Rather, NRG doing a great job of capitalizing on those small little efficiencies that EnVy didn't have.
And we are getting everybody back into the lobby. We had to create a new server real quick, so that's just what the slight delay is. And I'm trying to get into the lobby, so as soon as I do, I'm sure we'll be ready to go. And EnVy and NRG will also be ready, trying to get into that Winter Major Grand Final. EnVy trying to... I'm not going to say, like, try to pull a BDS, because nobody can be BDS. It's already over. That train has left the station a long time ago, but EnVy could certainly start pulling themselves away from the pack a little bit, Corelli, with how dense it is in the top four in North America. With how they're looking so far, though, NRG may take them out.
I mean, sitting as it is right now, I mean, EnVy are the leaders in points. They're at over 1,000 here for the winter. And just looking at the full ranking now, they're just below Space Station at the moment, who just exited the tournament. So for EnVy, this is a big deal. NRG, by the way, is right below EnVy in the full points here. So this is a tight race for these two teams to try and pass Space Station here. And I think a win here would probably do it. I'm not very good at math, but regardless, it's a very important game for both of them as you look at the full ranking. Because look, I think a lot of these teams expect to go Worlds, right? I think that's the expectation. I think that's the assumption, is we're going to see EnVy and NRG at Worlds. Getting the best seed that you possibly can for Worlds is the next best thing that you need to talk about, right? Because that's important. And this game, you know, regardless of where you sit in the rankings, is important to win this major, but also in the broader spectrum of a World Championship.
Yeah, absolutely. EnVy have just been a mark of consistency over two splits so far, and where, you know, fans of teams like NRG or Space Station would like to see themselves as a team EnVy that constantly makes it to the top four. But EnVy are the only team that have placed top four in every regional or major. So it's almost the old Cloud9 team. Before we switched to this new format, Corelli, when they did that for however many majors that they played in. EnVy are creating that same era of consistency and that expectation of consistency. So no surprise to me if they stay as number one. Mist has been incredible for this team. When Mist first entered the RLCS, and I was aware of Mist's, or we were all aware of Mist before he joined the RLCS, I never expected his upside to be this high. Like, I don't know if any of us anticipated him creating as much value for a number one team as he does on Team EnVy.
Yeah, and you know, again, we knew what Mist was bringing to the table. Hold on a second, he's getting boxed into his own net. Garrett G and NRG doing a great job right off the rip to put a couple of tough shots on net. And Garrett does catch that one off the crossbar for a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, Mist got frozen on the box, and that ball just bounces down right in front of him. Not much he can do waiting for that ball. Don't want to force an own goal or put yourself in a poorer position. You just got frozen. So EnVy struggling to find game one form, which I guess game one form is not what they should be looking for. They really just took advantage of a worse NRG at that point. But NRG are starting to take the reins. Another quick pass, but that time thrown away by Turbo Pulse.
Looking to see now what EnVy can do. They're already in the hole. We talked about, you know, having to pick up the pace of play here against NRG is very important. Finding those passing plays that we had mentioned early on in game number one is huge. That's a great effort here by Mist to initially win the ball and have a second chance. Atomic trying to follow up and find Turbo in the midfield, but it's Justin who's going to dance downfield with it. He gives it up to Mist.
Nice job by EnVy, not letting NRG stay in the blue half for all of the time, but I say that, and Justin has a little bit of space. Missed, able to flick that ball over Garrett G, but Garrett's going to get the ball back. Turbo, no one ends up challenging that ball, and Atomic will throw it back downfield. Turbo's actually got some space on it, and he'll take it himself up the wall. He did have an option to leave it for Atomic again, but Garrett just gets the turnaround, and EnVy offensive struggles continue.
Yeah, I mean, it's the opposite of what we saw in game one. Now it's NRG who's just really boxing in EnVy and not letting them out. And even these long clears, that's all EnVy can do. Not keeping control, and for NRG, they will eat that up every day of the week. That is exactly what NRG want you to do, is to give that ball up the midfield, these high-flying balls that no one can get to. But as soon as we start talking about it, that was an opportunity for Atomic. It is turned away back to the EnVy side.
No miss. Can't quite. Or he did really get that challenge over to Turbo, back over to Atomic. NRG a little bit behind on this one. Miss gets 2 touches above. Garrett just got a nick of it. And Atomic can't do a lot of work here, but he did buy some time for Turbo. Missed, has to wait as well. But NRG aren't letting up. They aren't giving any space. Where there was tons of space in the attacking third earlier for EnVy, there's none of it now. They get to the third and the play dies in the corner. NRG have sussed out the plan for EnVy, but that one just got knocked off the crossbar. That was Miss' best look at the net yet.
Yeah, and you know, we talked about what EnVy need to do, and now they're making NRG sweat on defense. You see these long clears. Anytime you see a long clear like that, usually means a team getting desperate just to get the ball out. Gives it back to EnVy, and they set back up. Oh, this one almost gets over Justin. Atomic can't get by Garrett. Here's Garrett on the dribble. Can't get by Mist as he slows him down. Justin, this one's going to lob it towards net. They clear for EnVy, comes out.
Oh, Mist. Oh, wow. Squishy just takes away Mist's potential with the ball. Mist tries to get the ball away from Justin, succeeds, takes the shot, and Mist does all the work himself in NRG territory to even the score.
It feels like Miss Carr is just faster than everyone else at the moment. That is great work from Miss to keep possession off of that touch and keep control of his car. A lot of times you can get out of control by jumping with the pop. He's able to flip back down and keep control of his car and put that one away. But a kickoff goal is going to nullify the great work by Mist, and NRG get their lead back.
Just when you think you can finally take a breath, you get the lead taken away from you. Challenge goes perfectly for NRG. Mist picks the left gap, it goes right, and he gets burned. And that's frustrating if you're EnVy. Where Mist does all of that work in the attacking third, or in the corner rather, to get that goal. Now they have to do it again. And not a game where they have been the most successful on offense. EnVy have 5 shots on net, and Mist owns 3 of those. It's just a scrap in midfield for possession, and NRG have usually been coming out the less bloody of the 2 combatants. And another hard clear off the back wall. NRG not to be trifled with right now on the pitch. That game 1 was an anomaly. These back 2 games have been excellent, but Atomic wants to change things right now, flips it back. Justin doesn't have to sweat for it. Atomic tries to take the play away, and he does, but Mr. Turbo, they combine their powers to do nothing, and is headed back the other way.
Here comes Squishy trying to receive that one. Justin had no boost there, but he's still able to win it off the back wall. That was opportunity for NRG. It's unfortunate it came down to Justin with no boost. Now EnVy trying to find each other. Great passing play over to Turbo. The shot was on target, but turned away by Garrett.
You like that passing play, though. Try to shade what you're doing. Don't always go for the shot if you don't have to. Mix-ups are always welcome, and flip resets are as well. Justin getting under that last one. And Squishy takes the ball away again. More time, shoot off the clock. NRG just posting up in midfield. Justin couldn't get the bump, but you saw Atomic. He was trying to avoid it. He knew Justin wanted to bump him out of the way and ended up not being able to touch the ball. Miss gets a demo to try to open something up, but midfield again, closed for business. It's all NRG. Another challenge in front. Turbo can't make up for lost time. High ball, and EnVy got to go the distance. Mist sees it on the pass, but he's met in the air by Garrett G. NRG takes series lead 2-1.
Yeah, quality game again from NRG. Really, that first game was just a warm-up for him, Jorby. Now they got the ball rolling quite literally here, and EnVy just can't produce enough offense to combat what NRG are throwing at them. I mean, you look at that first goal, NRG were all over EnVy, and it was very tough for them to break out. So many shots going wide and kind of painting around the frame, eventually putting one on target. But for EnVy, you really didn't see that offense. I mean, they put up 7 shots, you know? I mean, there was enough offense there to say we had the chance, but it doesn't really feel like it when you go back and look at the context of each of those shots where EnVy had the same type of pressure that NRG did.
Yeah, and they could never break out of midfield, or any time that they could make a follow-up challenge, they were just a little slower than where NRG were. NRG just had the beat of the play, the rhythm on the pitch. It was theirs. They were the ones creating the rhythm. And so EnVy were constantly having to play catch up and just could never get anything done. We saw some passes start to develop late in the game, but other than that, you saw them have to go for hard clears, try for air dribbles, just to force some sort of neutral play in midfield. But nothing was neutral in game number 3 for EnVy. Everything was net negative for them. NRG doing an excellent job on the pitch and recovering after how the series started for them. EnVy are now in that spot. They have to find a way to even the score here. Going down 3-1 can't be an option.
And look, I mean, you're seeing the sparks needed to create that offense. There was a couple good passing plays that we saw from EnVy, very creative passing plays that weren't as direct as the offense that we're seeing from NRG, but it's the consistency of setting those up that's the issue right now for EnVy.
We'll see if EnVy can figure it out, or if NRG will continue to march to their own beat. Now Garrett quickly finds his way downfield. That miss was ready for that one, but still, this was the problem, right? NRG complete command of midfield, and Atomic doing a lot of that. A lot of time wasted on the third. Nothing that really puts you in a solid spot to win a 50 or to put your team in a chance where you can succeed with passes, or even challenges on the back wall or the backboard.
Yeah, it truly has been the difference maker, and that's where I think EnVy does shine when they can set that up. Here comes Justin. You know, he's attempted 2 or 3 double flip resets in this series so far. I don't think there's that many. I don't know that many players that you could say have attempted 2 or 3. Oh, that's a big miss. Does he still go in? Oh my gosh! It still goes in. I think he might have just gotten the smallest piece. Hold on a second. He got the smallest touch on it.
He did not touch that ball. What?
It still goes in.
I mean, what do you want me to say?
Break it down, Torby.
There's nothing to be said. Moving on. Oh, that was ridiculous. Turbo forces a challenge up here. And there won't be too much for EnVy to look at. The rest of EnVy has retreated while Miss buys them some time. Corelli, I've seen some interesting goals, and I swear I say this once every split at this point. I've never seen that before.
Yeah, you know, I haven't seen that either, and I don't know what's worse, the fact that Justin didn't hit the net or that it still went in, and Justin gets a much better goal this time. Garrett with a great setup and a 2-0 lead for NRG.
Yeah, this one a lot more textbook, right? Garrett's downfield, sets it up off the crossbar, and Justin punches it in. Atomic just misses the read, has to be perfect. Easy come, easy does it. None of this ghost touch nonsense. And we're on our way. 2-0 NRG. What happened to EnVy, Corelli?
It shouldn't be that easy. I was just thinking, you know, it really shouldn't be that easy for NRG to move downfield and slice open your defense. Another shot going in for Justin. A hat trick now in the first 2 minutes for NRG and Justin.
He's just sitting here all by himself in the third. Atomic turns around. He knows Justin is there, but it actually looked like Atomic was in a spot to challenge Justin for the ball. But he turns around thinking he can save whatever shot Justin gives him, and well, Justin gave him the one shot he couldn't save. It's completely flipped from earlier. NRG are destroying EnVy. They're decimating EnVy.
Oh my goodness.
It's off the crossbar and in. Garrett G sets it up on the crossbar. Justin punches it in. I've read this story before.
The open nets are tough for NRG today. They got to make it extra difficult. I don't know what the squishy one, this one with Garrett, Justin's shot, a couple. I don't know what the deal is. But the thing is, they're all still going in for NRG. And that's what matters. And for EnVy, I'm not sure what is going on with the defense. They have overcommitted. I mean, on that play, you could just say, look, they overcommitted. They pushed too far. but it's just been 1-2 touches from NRG. There's nobody to contest anything from EnVy on their defensive third, and NRG have just torn them apart.
It's just another chapter of more open nets. And there's nothing there. Atomic, who could typically launch a ball up and get something going with it on an air dribble, a challenge or something. And the touch, they just can't get it close enough. At Turbo, the play dies again. Justin catches it, and all they can hope is that NRG drop the ball for them in midfield and they get a play set up. But every time they get behind the ball, NRG are there to challenge it, and there's no space for them to work with at all.
Yeah, I mean, that is the biggest issue, I think, for EnVy is they can't keep possession, and when they do, NRG are just all over them. And by the way, when NRG are all over them, they're quickly down the field. I mean, NRG have done a great job to counterattack, but be efficient on the counterattack. It's a 1-2 touch downfield and a shots on target, and that's really where NRG have been the most dangerous.
Garrett stops another play. Turbo's follow-up, he may as well not have been there, and Garrett G is racing by the whole defense, and almost caught Justin on the pass, and Justin takes the ball away from Turbo. NRG, apparently this is a freestyle session in this on this last push. I mean, Justin just took the ball away as if EnVy weren't even there. Justin's like, this is my backboard now, not yours, EnVy. And it's 4-0 still. They didn't get a goal, but they don't need to. There's only a minute left.
No, they really don't. And for EnVy, it's a brutal game, especially now being put on match point, assuming they lose here, and it might be a 5th goal. Justin waiting to see where that one's going to drop as demos come out on both sides. But for EnVy, I mean, what can you say? Turbo blasting it downfield. There's just no possession to be had, and maybe it's a go next situation here. But for EnVy, there's got to be a lot of changes coming out for them here in this next game, because NRG just seem to be getting better and better. Missed, gets the flip and into the net. But with 39 seconds left, still going to be tough to come down by 3.
Well, Mist hasn't seen space like that in 15 minutes. He made the most of it on the flip reset. It's a nice shot from him. But like you said, probably too little too late here with the amount of time remaining. And we're going to be hoping for a lot more in Game 5.
When the quick chats are coming out from the players, I think you know what's happening here in this game.
I wasn't going to say it. And Garrett almost nailed a double. But Justin kicks the ball out to the side, and it's basically doing a victory lap around the pitch for NRG. Another touch for Squishy. That's the thing too, is like EnVy expect the touch to go a certain way, but then NRG just play one more touch. One more touch. It's like they think they're going to push forward, but then NRG just get one more touch and you're out of position. And they've done that to so many teams, and on NRG's dominant runs, that's the type of game that they've always played, right? One touch too many for the defense to handle, and NRG are in your net. NRG have dominated EnVy for 3 games straight, and EnVy currently have no path out.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it, because it has been dominated from NRG. Even in the closer scoreline games, it's still been NRG. And for EnVy now, I really truly think it is about the possession game, bringing that ball down and keeping possession, setting something up. Because look, the ideas are there. People are still going to be in positions for these types of passes across field or downfield. You just have to wait for those to materialize and be ready for them when they happen. Because right now, EnVy rather just throw the ball down the field and really not keep possession or let anything kind of formulate in front of them, whereas NRG are kind of just taking what EnVy are throwing at them and then boom, 1-2 pass downfield, and it's quick, efficient, on target, and most of the time it's going in for them.
Well, we'll see if EnVy can get things figured out. This is not the typical form that EnVy usually show when they're in an upper bracket final. We'll see what pans out for them. Right now, NRG are in top of the region form right now. If you look at Rogue in the lower bracket, they look insane down there compared to anyone else we've seen so far. NRG are trying to build that case. If Rogue are gonna make a lower bracket run to the grand final, you're looking at NRG that might be the competition there to take them out. Just with how the series has gone so far, unless EnVy show us something different, NRG might walk away here in 5.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we were a little bit worried in Game 1 from NRG, but they've woken up. They got a couple games under their belt now, and they're in form. Like you said, they're in form, and that's, I mean, this is the perfect time to do it, Jorby, here at the Major. They got to get through EnVy here in this last game, and it's still chances here for EnVy to fight back in this series. We know they can. It just hasn't been their day today. They have not played well since the first game.
Garrett gonna grab this next touch after a succession of NRG passes onto the net. That opening 30 seconds took 2 shots from NRG. Here's the third, and Mist gonna take that one away. But again, slow coming out of their own half. EnVy, typically dangerous on the transition. That game's been non-existent. And Justin hops in front of another one. NRG are just ready for any touch. They know EnVy can't get any quality touch on net, and so they're just ready to pounce on it anytime they get one. Look, Garrett right there might have actually just helped Mist out to get EnVy out from midfield.
And watching how EnVy approaches defense right now, it does feel like they're very eager to move downfield, even when it's not 100% certain that they have possession. That's why it feels like they're so spread out on defense. That's why so many times you see just one man in the net, because it just feels like EnVy so quick to move downfield without confirmation of that possession. And now Mist and Turbo out. It's just Atomic back in a big clear. That one might actually get over everyone, and it does, even with the touch. Atomic trying to set up this great angle from him as it's turned away by Squishy.
It was a close one, but Squishy did get that touch. And now EnVy can really get something set up here. He sees Mist, Atomic did, but the reads from NRG have been so quick. How do you fight against that where even if everything's clicking, you get the pass out? You're able to make contact. Still, NRG had the read a second before you did. Atomic right there, knocked away from Garrett.
These are the types of chances that EnVy need to clamp down on NRG, and you can see they just poke it free and move downfield so quickly. Squishy's up, can he drop it in? Oh, big save by Mist. Follow up from Garrett's turned away by Atomic. That's how fast NRG can just flip the table on you.
That transition, speedy. And then they just grab midfield and refuse to let it go. Squishy gets another touch up in front. Turbo's up, but he got knocked to the ground. Justin forces another 50. Turbo can't beat Garrett to the ball, and Mist has to race for this. Justin, can he get the ball away? He does from 2 EnVy attackers and gets the ball out to Garrett. Justin is playing amazingly right now. I don't know how he has shoveled this ball out of some of these situations.
He's done a great job of being that backbone for NRG. You'll find a lot of times him sitting in the midfield while Garrett and Squishy make things happen. He's done a great job of making sure, even here, possession, push it away from defenders. That's 2 demos from Squishy and Garrett. 2 players from EnVy taken out, but only for the moment, not long enough, as Justin gives the ball away to Mist.
Garrett's got space, and he was able to find Justin on the backside. But EnVy, they do know how NRG are positioned. They haven't given up on one of these passing plays yet. But Justin on the delay, and the Atomic hops right in front to take away the pass and get the clear. But he's out of boost. He needs Turbo's help. He got it. Fake from Atomic, and the save off the crossbar keeps NRG scoreless. And Justin, he doesn't have a lot of boost here, but he gets help from his friend, Squishy, able to kick it a little farther. But a quick transition, Atomic lets it rip, and it is made of lead. 1-0 EnVy.
That's the transition that EnVy have been missing, taking advantage of 2 players going after the same ball from NRG. The quick pass down to Atomic, the strike on target, and EnVy get the go-ahead goal here with 1:15 left.
They finally got something quick on the transition, and they were able to turn it into goal. But NRG, EnVy cannot let their foot off the pedal, as NRG have been itching to get into that EnVy net. Squishy try to block off Mist again, but Atomic, he doesn't have anything here. He has to wait for Justin. I just have to leave the play now with no boost. Turbo punching it in reverse, but that was a good stop. It would have been a better stop had they been able to control midfield, but now Mist has to weave his way around in the blue half, able to steal that boost away for his efforts, but then Justin gets behind the ball. Can NRG tie this one up, or will EnVy survive a little longer in the upper final?
Could be this attack for NRG, and Atomic doesn't make contact, but he leaves way for Mist. And for EnVy, this game has been a short one here with only 1 goal, but they're in the lead and they're trying to hold on here in the final 20. Maybe put 1 more on the board as NRG just throw it downfield.
And no one's going to get to that, but Justin's giving the ball right back from Turbo. Mist too slow to the ball. Squishy comes back around, but it's taken away by Atomic, and Mist gets the go-ahead touch downfield. It's lobbed almost into the net. Justin got the save, and Squishy gets 1 more chance. Mist takes that chance away. Garrett gets a nice pop, forces Atomic into the sky, and now Garrett gets the catch because Atomic missed. He wants to pass to Justin, hard off the corner. Where's Squishy? There he is, but it's denied by Mist. Garrett hustles back to that touch, but Atomic is all over it. All he has to do is kill the ball, and EnVy survive for now. Whew.
That's a welcomed win for EnVy. A quick 1-0 win for them is very important here, just to keep the series moving along, and didn't have to feel too much pain of having to make a comeback or overtime or anything like that. So for EnVy, look, this was a fine win for them. Was it the best game in the world from them? I don't think so. They still felt a lot of pressure from NRG. They did well to keep NRG at bay. That was better from what we saw earlier on, but there are some close calls and some tough saves made by EnVy to keep this scoreline clean. And the offense there was there, right? The one goal that they had, it was that quick clear downfield, something that we've been asking for from them. Whew. And the one big mistake that NRG made was sending 2 players for the same ball. And that quick transition, those gaps are the gaps that you're only going to get a few times a game. And EnVy were able to take advantage of that one. And that's important to see.
Yeah, I mean, NRG had done such a good job killing the transition from EnVy, and they get one chance at it. And like you said, they took advantage of it. And I mean, EnVy had to play some defense. We saw it in the highlights there. They made 2 quick saves at the beginning of the game. And then NRG had trouble grabbing control in midfield again after that. So how do things go down on Neo Tokyo? Will the same events unfold for EnVy? And can they hang on for just a little while longer to force a Game 7 here in this upper final? NRG would hope not.
Yeah, I think a lot of fans who were voting for NRG would hope not, as it was overwhelmingly in favor of NRG. But EnVy here setting something up. That shot's directly at Justin. Still EnVy trying to keep the attack on. Mist looking for a player here. Comes back. Post Turbo's there. And a 1-0 lead in the first 30 seconds for EnVy.
Now, eventually in these games, it starts to get dirty, and Mist just finds the bump. It's the better play. Let the ball sail down for Turbo Pulsa and make a statement 30 seconds into the game. EnVy finally get the first goal. In the last 3 games, they weren't able to score firsts. In fact, one of them, they weren't even able to score at all. Much better start here for EnVy, but they can't let NRG sneak back in on a kickoff, and Atomic and Mist made sure of it with that clear. Nice little move from Justin. He won't get the boost for his effort. Was able to shake that pass out. Good clears for EnVy as well. Force NRG to respect the play from midfield. No real action just yet. Both players vying for that possession, those extended play of pressure. I can so often break a defense down. Garrett, not the best clear out, but he's got a backup. Turbo, light shot that can be handled by Squishy. Missed. Doesn't have a touch that he would have liked off of that demo. Squishy got the catch, and he's got no boost, over 1. And that challenge will be Turbo Pulsa's to win. Garrett plays it out again, but Mist has 1. He had 2, but Garrett comes right back for the save.
Yeah, great setup here from EnVy, and they're still in a great spot. NRG are boost starved. Here comes Atomic all by himself with a flip reset. And you can see EnVy slowly locking in NRG. NRG are actually going to break out here, but great offense from EnVy, an offense that we haven't seen from them in a few games. Even in the previous game that they won, we didn't really see them lock in NRG as much as they did right there. That was almost, what, a minute and a half of just EnVy on offense? That's a good look for EnVy right now.
I absolutely agree. A couple more like that. And NRG will be happy to buy their way into the blue half, but they have a chance here, and Turbo almost got bumped by Squishy. Garrett, that one close to the net, but not close enough. 2 committed from EnVy, and it is as easy as it can be for Justin.
Yep, and again, NRG, they're going to sit back and wait for those mistakes. I mean, Justin's behind the half line here. He's not even close to challenging it, yet panic on the goal line for EnVy. And it was like the sea parting in front of him for Justin, with 2 players going for the net wide open with the ball bouncing towards him. It's just, again, too easy for NRG, who's going to get one off the kickoff.
Too easy for Garrett G to get the second goal, and you can't let goals like this go in. You cannot let it happen. As EnVy, the #1 seed in North America, you can't let a double commit lead to a tie game when you're down on match point, and you can't get scored on the kickoff like that. You will not make it to the grand final. NRG are the team that will punish you every single time. EnVy missed. It's not even close. And Garrett can't really find his way around. Turbo will have to work to get downfield. But Corelli, after that strong opening 2 minutes that you talked about, EnVy have to work for the second goal, and Mist double touch is taken away by Garrett, who's a defensive mastermind right now.
And Mist is looking on form with these attacks. A couple double tap setups that he's had have looked really good. It's just the defense from NRG have been able to get a piece of it. Can't count EnVy out quite yet. It's only down by 1 goal, and it might be 2 here. Justin throwing a couple fakes, slow it down. He hits the second touch off of the Atomic save, and a 2-goal lead now for NRG.
Is there 1 player blocking the net? No problem. Are there 2 players blocking the net? No problem for Justin. On the dunk, Inertia did all the work. He was just there for the ride. 3-1 for NRG, and we are past the halfway point. EnVy gotta work hard to get back into it.
It's definitely going to be tough, but look, they've had that form. They've shown it here in this game alone. They just need to get back to it and stop making those little mistakes. For NRG, that's a great fake from Justin. Now he wants a piece of Atomic, and he does. Punch him out of the way, but Turbo comes back through to pick it up. Gets the back boost of NRG, but pays for it with his life. Now Atomic missed there. Shots wide, and it does go into the far post, just wide of Justin's car.
Well, eventually Justin was gonna get burned. He had come back, he got the demo, and he thought that would relieve some pressure, but then he turned in initially. If he had just kept driving and kept his car straight, he would have been able to play the backup to Squishy there, but instead had to turn again as soon as the shot happened from Mist, who popped seemingly out of nowhere for him. And EnVy sneaked back into it with 1:30 remaining.
Any boost for Justin there, he would have been in the right position. He had 0 the entire time. It was crucial that Turbo took that back boost, rather, even though he died immediately with it.
Oh no! Oh, I thought Mist just sealed the deal for EnVy right there on that misread. But
they might do it here.
The ball downfield. Atomic almost got the tie, but again, Squishy's in the way, and we'll get the clear downfield for NRG. But they've had to send that ball sailing, and there's been no one from NRG to receive the catch. In fact, it's been EnVy who have just been reloading when they get back to the blue half. NRG finally get a massive clear that forces Turbo back a little bit. Justin forces 1 challenge, but Garrett G has to leave. Turbo's ready for it. Squishy, he's got the kill. Only a little bit of boost, so Garrett will take over on the feint. Squishy high, Mist almost got caught out, but Justin's too far back. He still makes the challenge happen for NRG. Insurance would be big with 30 seconds left, but EnVy ready for another go.
And they might get it here. Mist trying to throw it downfield to the back post, does find it, but a big clear. Here's Garrett, can he get back to it? Puts it on target, Mist can't get back, and a 2-goal lead, some insurance for NRG.
Well, if Garrett Fennec had hands, it would be high, waving, I'm down here. Nobody is around me. I have the easiest redirect in the world. I don't even need any boost. And he puts it right into the net for NRG, and now EnVy have an impossible task ahead of them. A goal every 12 seconds. They need it right here, and it's taken away. Mist, no chance. Atomic, can he get Turbo set up? Garrett, no boost in the tank, but Mist has to sit on the ground. That was probably the best chance EnVy had. Mist dives in front. What a shot to give EnVy a chance at the end.
Huge shot from Mist, who has been performing this entire series long. And Atomic again, those lateral passes deep into the box. Justin a bit too far back there on his own goal line, allows Mist to creep in. 11 seconds left, Jorby. It comes down to the kickoff.
Here we go. Kickoff neutralized. Atomic has the bounce, but Mist not in the position he wants to be. And now EnVy gotta go the distance in the air. Turbo finds Mist on the ground. That's a pop-up high. Turbo's got the boost to handle it. R touch, and it's gonna touch the ground! NRG send EnVy down, and they'll wait in the grand finals.
Wow, that was a close effort from EnVy, who finally, you could see it, Jorby. EnVy finally turned it on these last couple games, but it was NRG who was playing in top shape after that first game throughout the rest of the series. And they are looking strong going into the finals.
Can I just say, Garrett had the jug of water next to him, and I just gotta say, Garrett, you know, I understand, man. I also got my own jug of water here, and I gotta take one after that match. I thought EnVy were gonna come back at the end, but NRG put on a performance. You know, we got more of it. We got more Rocket League after this. So, you know, get up, take a bathroom break, go get a snack, and we'll be back real quick.